Hello everyone, welcome to the event 3.0 in Sao Paulo. Oi, tudo bem in Sao Paulo? And this is how far my Portuguese goes. Hello everyone again, my name is Cerstin Steindorf. I'm Global Account Director Healthcare in MCI for the corporate division. I'm taking care of our corporate clients all across the world who are working with our different offices, cross-therapy area. Nay, who you have met before, will ask me to talk to you about the trends, the mega trends in healthcare. So there are several mega trends, and I have chosen 5 of these. So in order to avoid too many texts and everything, I will rather talk and give you some pictures to look at. So the first trend or the first concern that is coming more and more in the healthcare industry is the Bribery Act. And not only the UK Bribery Act, but as well embedded in the US one that you all know, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. What is important here is to say that the different agencies in the world are working closer and closer together. And if you are an international company that has affiliates around the world, you better look closely at these acts, at your legal responsibilities, at the legal responsibilities that you have for your own staff, but as well for your service staff that you hire for doing events like agencies. So MCI as well is concerned, and we do training for our staff about this, because it's very important if we interact with government officials, etc. So to have a more, a better feeling, I would say, into legal responsibilities is one of the concerns in training, or one of the points that are coming up and are raised. A second one is the investment in preventive medicine, meaning that today pharmaceutical companies look more and more in looking how can I prevent an illness rather than curing it. They will always go on curing medicine if somebody is ill, but the trend is going into healthier lives, into looking into new product and service development that can help their patients to prevent to get ill already from the beginning. Then a third point is social media. This is a very big step for the very conservative pharmaceutical or healthcare and life science industry. If we look at the PwC report on CEOs who have been interviewed, the trends are that they say that the technology will influence very much their strategy in the future. So if you look into social media and into technology, there is still a very conservative attitude from pharmaceutical companies. At least I can speak for Europe. How the big questions are: how do I protect data? What are, again, legal implications? What can I say? What can't I say? Who will control social media? How far do my responsibilities go, not only internally in training my staff, or my employees, but as well if I interact, let's say, with patient groups or other stakeholders I interact with? How do I have to inform new staff? Or do I outsource the whole social media part? And if I do this, with whom do I do a joint venture, and how far do my responsibilities go in this way? On the other hand, if you look at the patient groups, if you look at every single human being today, they use social media, they interact. Patient groups, you go on the internet and you look what do others say who have the same illness than me, what is around there. But I mean, there are a lot of good, but there are as equally, if not more, bad things on social media. So how can I, as a pharmaceutical company, drive value for my patients in using social media? And these asks for new talents I have to hire, new people I have to look at who can help me develop in this new world. And it goes, in addition, what you can see right now, into dissemination of content. How can I use social media to broaden my audience and to get my message out, to get my, not only on a commercial side, but as well, how can I capture scientific content for the right audience, and how can I disseminate it? Another point, which is always on the top list of pharmaceutical companies, are the governments. And how far do they influence my business? How far will they go? Because as a pharmaceutical or industry, you don't have a lot of influence on governmental or legal laws that will be implemented in a country. Let's just look at the transparency and the disclosure that is requested in more and more countries, and on the administration that is requested from pharmaceutical companies, from doctors, and from other stakeholders who have to disclose on spend, let's say, on transfer of value. Otherwise, if we put it in a bigger context, the economic uncertainty we are today in everywhere in the world, where should I concentrate on with all the government implications? Should I stay and do organic growth in existing markets or in emerging markets? These are the questions they ask themselves. I talked already about over-regulations. Then how will governments handle the debts and deficits in general of the countries? Will this slow down growth? How will I be affected? This is what goes around in the heads of CEOs of pharmaceutical company. And never forget that there has to be a very good collaboration with the government and governmental institutions, because they will have a huge impact in the future as well. And last but not least, transparency, data collection. I don't know how it is, honestly speaking, in Brazil right now, but if you are, as a corporate client, sitting in the audience and belonging to an international firm, you will have heard about the Sunshine Act and the European transparency and disclosure activities that link directly into transparency, not only from a spend perspective, but as well goes into each and every action that you do as a company. It is directly linked and goes directly together with ethical behavior. And how far this can go is now in Europe becoming very transparent, that thresholds, for example, are set by countries on how much you can spend on a dinner or on a hotel accommodation per night. This will be fixed now, which was very open before, and each company could choose their own threshold they wanted to add, but it will be, and every country is requested to set a threshold for their pharmaceutical industry they are working in. And just for you information, in Europe we have now this transparency and disclosure action to be implemented in 2015 and to be reported the first time in 2016, while in the US, as you may be aware, it is already ongoing. Capturing is taking place and disclosure is in Q1 next year. So these are, I would say, the biggest trends I can talk to you about in a couple of minutes. I'm sure that Nay will be there to answer some questions, should there be any, and Nay will be able to give you my address as well, should you have further questions. Thank you very much. And I wish you a wonderful and successful day in beautiful Sao Paulo. Thank you. Bye.